and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1833 and today's date is April 4th, 2019, and the title of the episode is Structure Change Coming, Players Are Being Positioned. Now, I want to talk about Trump and how he's draining the swamp. It's taken 2,800 subpoenas, 500 search warrants for Donald Trump to announce the attempt to tie him to Russia interference in the election campaign had failed. He just keeps rolling with the punches. If you're a fan of the president and you want to show your support, you might want to celebrate the news with one of these solid silver or pure gold President Trump Freedom Coins. Go to TrumpCoin2020.com and also make sure to use the code X22 to save $5 off per silver coin, and use the code X22 with gold at the end to save $100 off the gold coin. To get these coins, don't forget to click the link below and use the code X22. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, we know that just going after the deep state is not enough. We need to go to the source of the problem, the source of the funding. That is the central bank, that is the Federal Reserve. And we understand that there needs to be change, which means the Federal Reserve needs to be brought down. They need to be exposed. And we're starting to see the beginning stages of all this, because we know that Trump needs to fill seats in the Federal Reserve. Now remember, there's good guys and there's bad guys. Trump is going to put individuals in position to help restructure the Federal Reserve, to remove the Federal Reserve from the control of the Rothschild banking system and put it back into the hands of the people, and eventually completely get rid of the Federal Reserve and just make the Treasury create the currency. Because as we know, the Federal Reserve, they're not in a position to benefit the American people. Their position is to benefit themselves, to spread debt around the world, to create chaos, and to manipulate the economy. Because what we're seeing right now is not an open and free economy, it's a manipulated economy. From the stock market to the statistical numbers to everything that we're seeing. Now, Trump does have the magic wand, and he needs to continually use it. Remember, we have many things going on at once, and he needs to control the mainstream media. He needs to control the deep state, the central bank, from blaming him for bringing down the economy. So he needs to control all of that. And he's doing that by using those tools the deep state and the central banks have used for many, many years. And the deep state and the central banks are finding it a very difficult time to counter what he's saying. I mean, look at the initial jobless claims. They are the lowest in 50 years. I mean, we need to go all the way back to 1969. That's where we are with initial jobless claims. So here's some context so you can understand. Back then, in 1969, the Beatles' Abbey Road album hit number 1. Wendy's Hamburgers, American fast food restaurant chains founded by Dave Thomas, opens in Columbus, Ohio. Alcatraz Island off of San Francisco is seized by militant Native Americans. U.S. performs nuclear test at Nevada's test site. And if you really think about it, if you go back to that time period, we were still on the gold standard. We didn't come off the gold standard until 1971. Of course, they were in the process of setting up the whole petrodollar system. But what's very interesting about all of this is that when you look at the initial jobless claims, it matches up perfectly to when we had a recession. And if you go back to the 70s, moving all the way forward, every time initial jobless claims hit the lowest at that time, we entered a recession. Now, right now, we're going all the way back to 1969. If you look at all the recessions, from 1970 all the way up to 2019, we are at the lowest point that we've ever seen, which means this recession, this depression, this collapse is going to be bigger than we've ever seen before. And we need to remember something very important here. Trump is using everything he possibly can to prepare the United States for this. He's cutting budgets. He's deregulating. He's bringing manufacturing back. He's making new trade deals with China. Why is he doing all this? Well, remember, when we were on the petrodollar system, countries kept the dollar in reserves. They use these funds to purchase our goods. Well, when the United States, when the Federal Reserve debt note is no longer the reserve currency, everything needs to change because they won't be holding the Federal Reserve note any longer. So we need to have trade deals in place to handle the next phase of the economy, which is going to be the new economy that Trump and the Patriots are creating. And he needs to cut expenses. I mean, just like any business, just like anything else, the United States cannot continually pay out what it's paying out right now. It just won't work. And Trump, he wants to cut about $10 billion a year to the UN. Congress continually stops him. Now, Congress has been stopping Trump in many things that he wants to do. Because remember, the system that we're in now, a lot of these individuals, they make a lot of money. They like this system. And they don't want it to end because it benefits them. Actually, it corrupts them. But you could see that Trump, he's trying to cut expenses anywhere he possibly can. He's also using the free money to build and create jobs, improve the infrastructure of the United States. So why don't do it all? Because he only has a short window here. So he's using the free money from the Federal Reserve, racking up debt, creating new trade deals, and trying to put the United States on the right track. Now, he doesn't care about the deficit. He doesn't really care about the debt. He doesn't care about this because he knows in the end, this is all going to disappear. How? Well, once he audits the Fed and shows the world and makes it completely transparent that they're a criminal organization, guess what? We don't have to pay this back. It's not under their mandate to loan or create currency to and send it off to other countries, or to manipulate the interest rates, or to manipulate businesses and other things. And again, I say that the Federal Reserve, they don't have such a great track record. I mean, they're making it seem like, well, we need the Federal Reserve because it manages the economy. We need the Federal Reserve because it creates the currency. Well, we don't need a Federal Reserve to push a button. There's no reason for the Federal Reserve. And managing the country, well, they haven't been doing a great job here. Let's go back in time here. I mean, we go back to the 70s when we're coming off the gold standard. Guess what? We were in a recession. Fast forward to 1980, we're in a recession again. Go around 1981, 1982, we're in another recession. Then we hit 1990, we're in another recession. 2000, 2001, another recession. 2008 to 2009, another recession. So when you look at the track record, it's not that great. And if you go back even further, it gets even worse. So they're not really helping the people. They're really not helping the country. They're helping themselves. They're helping Wall Street. They're helping the deep state. They're helping everyone but the people. I mean, just think about this for a second. Since the Federal Reserve came into existence, the dollar has lost value. It's lost something like 97, 98%, which means it takes a lot more of this paper funny money to purchase an item. Even though the production and things like that is getting cheaper and cheaper to make things, it still takes a lot more dollars to buy the same item, which tells you that it is not benefiting the people, because now those people who are making minimum wage, it's a lot more difficult. This is why they have to continually raise the minimum wage just to keep up. This is why you need the cost of living wage each year, which barely helps you out, because the dollar continually loses value. When you hear inflation, people think that the products are going up in price. No, it's the dollar losing value every day. And there's many companies out there who decided to stop giving the cost of living increase, which makes it difficult for people to survive. And what they needed to do, and I'm talking about the central banks, they needed to come out with another way to allow people to live. Because think about it today. If everyone just got rid of all their credit cards and you couldn't take out loans to purchase anything, a car or a washer and a dryer, and you couldn't use your credit cards for rent or food or to purchase, get rid of all credit cards. Can America survive? Can the people of America live? No. This is why they needed to introduce credit in the late 70s going into the early 80s, because this is when things started to break down. And as we went through the 90s, it got worse. 2000, even worse than that. And this is why you see the credit card debt so high. This is why the debt for mortgages is so far out there. This is why the debt for student loans is so far out there. It's unbelievable. So Trump is looking to nominate, and he's considering Herman Cain for one of the 2 empty seats on the Federal Reserve Board of Governors. And this has the Democrats, the media, in a panic. He's also considering Steve Moore. He's also being eyed for the other vacant seat. Now, if these individuals get the job, this would be incredible. First of all, Cain, he'll be the only African American on the board, which currently consists of 3 white men and 2 white women. Now, Herman Cain, he is a pizza magnate, and he is a favorite of the Tea Party. And this will help Trump as he battles the Fed. Now, what's very interesting is that Maggie Haberman tweeted out the following. Swan notes Trump is hesitating in case something comes up in Cain background check. Google search could get Trump there quickly. And you could see that Maggie Haberman is saying, listen, this is not a good pick for the Federal Reserve seat. And she's saying that, oh, Trump is worried about this. I don't think Trump is really worried about this. I think he's positioning certain people in these positions on purpose to completely restructure the Fed. I mean, if we go back to post 2575, and I know we mention this quite often, it says, and this is December 10th, 2018, the plan to have the Fed raise rates, steep incline beginning March 2019, in an effort to kill the economy prior to 2020 presidential election is known and planned for. They stopped the Fed from raising rates in 2019. They had China push stimulus. The economy is chugging along now, using the bankers' weapons. Under this, it says structure change coming. If we fast forward to post 2619, which is December 12, 2018, in Anon, this is when they had the question and answer time period, and Anon asked, do we have the gold? And Q says, yes, gold shall destroy the Fed. What we're seeing right now is the beginning stages of putting all the pieces in place. I mean, think about it. Trump right now and the Patriots, they're moving the pieces where they want them. And of course, the mainstream media, the deep state, the central banks, they're like, whoa, this is crazy. Why would you do this? Why would you put this person in there? Why would you do that? They don't see the full picture. They won't see the full picture until it's too late. He does these things on purpose. It's like a great chess match where you have 2 players. One player is moving the pieces. The other player has no idea, saying, oh, that was a stupid move. Why would you do that? Look, I just got your bishop. And then he moves another piece and says, look at that. I just got your rook. That was stupid. But the whole entire time, the player was setting up the other person. Now, the other person thinks they're stupid. They don't know what they're doing because they're losing all their pieces on the chessboard. They don't see what is happening until it's too late. They don't realize the king is being surrounded. They don't realize that they're being positioned to where it's going to be a checkmate match. They don't see the full picture. They only see the little pieces being moved, and they're making fun of it. This is what's happening right now. It's the same thing. They see different things happening, and they're making fun of it. And they don't understand what the big picture is. They don't understand the big plan here. They won't understand it until it's too late, and they won't be able to stop it. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.